of bitch. Somebody build a field goal real quick. Yeah.
He's dead, but his order is still in effect. The nuke's on its way.
What? No.
Hold on, Duke, we're getting out of here.
What? No ego for killing the Emperor? Come on now. Whee! Oh, snap. Oh boy. What is to become of Duke Nukem?
What kind of shit ending is that? I ain't dead. I'm coming back for more.
Alright. Well, she's done. What can I say? Definitely underwhelming, to say the least. I mean, I would say it's disappointing, but, you know, I kind of had built myself up to expect, well, to be underwhelmed, especially after the demo, after the reviews, after listening. Well, I don't put much stock into actual quote-unquote professional reviewers, since most of them are paid off. After the Dragon Age 2 debacle, where they gave Dragon Age 2 like 95s and 100s, pretty much learned, well, even before that, but after that especially, learned not to listen to reviewers. But anyway, even listening to player reviews who aren't the fanboys, it was pretty obvious what to expect. The combat is not bad. Some people complain about the clunkiness of the combat. I didn't think that was bad. The graphics are fine. I mean, some people will complain the graphics look old, and the graphics do look a little old. It's not awful by any stretch. It's no Modern Warfare, it's no Battlefield 3, but it's not, again, it's definitely not that bad. It wasn't bad as in distracting. So I wouldn't seriously mark it off for that. My problems are, one, the two-weapon thing, awful. Terrible. It really threw off the pace of the game. Having to constantly decide which weapon you want to take. It's not Duke Nukem at all. Keep that shit in shitty games like Halo. Yeah, I went there. Just keep that shit in other games. That's not Duke Nukem at all. That's like if I had an RPG, like a D&D RPG, where you have a wizard, but I can only cast 2 spells. And to change spells, I have to go leave the dungeon and go back home and cast, choose different spells. It would just be asinine. Or they have the spells in the dungeon. So if I want to cast Fireball, I can cast Fireball and Flame Wall. And I find the scroll, I can either pick it up or leave it, or swap out Fireball for Heal or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's just an idiotic mechanic that should have never, ever went in the game. The health regen, again, not Duke Nukem. Just another idiotic change they made, trying to modernize it. Doesn't work with the game. No armor. Again, why take it out? It was a staple of the series. Should have stayed in. The extra stuff like the driving sections, the swimming. And by the way, there's the person to blame right there. George Broussard, he's a big part of it. I don't hate to say it. He himself claimed the blame for a lot of it, like the two-weapon stuff. So a lot of the terrible decisions are his fault. Hopefully, frankly, he doesn't touch anything to do with Duke Nukem ever again. But at any rate, a lot of the stuff like the driving sections were just, tedious. They weren't really fun. I think the voice acting was fine. Some people complained that John St. John as Duke Nukem seemed tired. He didn't seem into it. Frankly, he sounded exactly the same to me as he did in the original Duke. I don't think he sounded any different. But the linear level design was, you know, boring. There was no exploration in the levels. But again, that you suffer because of the 2-weapon limit and no armor and no health and all of that. With previous games, you're rewarded for exploring by getting additional armor, more health, finding an additional badass gun early, things like that. You can't do that in games with the limitations that were placed on Duke Nukem Forever. So you end up with just boring linear levels that only have very minor hidden areas that give you these little minor ego boosts, which, you know, were kind of weak. The non-combat sections, like the beginning, the strip club, things like that, they were okay. I mean, they gave an interesting break from the combat, I guess. They were a little cheesy, but whatever. The jokes were cheesy too, but I mean, that's kind of cheesy in the Duke Nukem way. I kind of groaned at a lot of it, like, I'm gonna ninja this, which is kind of dumb because he's the only one there, so how is he ninjaing it? I just really dumb jokes like that. I was just really groan worthy. The abortion jokes, stuff like that. Again, get over it. I mean, take the tampon out of your vag and just get over it, quite frankly. But, like I say, I would rate this game. I was going to do like a real review at some point. Of course I keep saying that, but anyway, I would really rate this game about a 5. Again, mostly because of the weapon limitations, linear levels, the combat, the pacing just wasn't good and steady. It just all around wasn't Duke Nukem. I mean, if it wasn't called Duke Nukem, if you took out the voice acting, it would have been a mediocre FPS that nobody would remember. So, again, totally forgettable. If you're a big Duke Nukem fan, I would say maybe pick this up when it hits the $25, maybe $30 range. And believe me, that is not going to take long. I expect to see sales of this game tank very, very quickly. Just considering the amount of negative reviews from actual players, yes, the sales price of this game will drop quick. So $25 to $30, again, if you're a big Duke Nukem fan. If you're not, frankly, $15, maybe $20. If you don't have anything else to play, $20 maybe. But probably more around $15 if you can catch it, like a good Steam sale, something like that. Obviously get it on PC. I've heard the 360 and the PS3 versions are even worse. But quite frankly, you should be slapped in the face for buying an FPS on a console anyway. Man, these credits are long. I was kind of hoping to talk through them, but they're still going. And I'm kind of out of things to say. But yeah, it's kind of odd to be finally talking about Duke Nukem Forever after having waited over 12 years. While we're waiting on the credits, I might as well continue to ramble on. I remember seeing way back in the day, you know, the first screenshots of Duke Nukem Forever, and they had like pictures of cops. I remember like tentacles coming out of their back or something like that, like the first pig cops, and like I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. And like they had like 3 or 4 screenshots that was pretty much the typical Duke Nukem Forever shots, and there was like it for years, like 2 or 3 years, and you just did not hear anything out of those guys except every once in a while. And that's just kind of when the jokes started, because you just never heard anything. And every now and then you know, somebody, some reviewer, some magazine would kind of poke at them and say, you know, hey, what the hell's going on? Like, are you guys actually working on this, or, you know, did you abandon the project? What's the deal? And they're like, oh, you know, it'll be ready when it's ready. That was their joke. It was, it's ready when it's ready. And even their website said that. You know, it'll be ready, or it'll be released when it's ready. And, you know, ironically, it was not ready. It was not ready for prime time. You know, some people complained of bugs. I didn't really hit any bugs. What I thought was bugs with the pipe bombs on the Queen Bitch fight was just me not understanding how the mechanics worked. And my god, that's still embarrassing. That fight was so bad. But anyway, but yeah, it's just interesting following this game over the last 10 to 12 years off and on. Because I really did like, you know, I loved Duke Nukem back in the day. I remember playing it. I liked Duke better than Quake. I just thought it was a more interesting game. Quake was just so boring. It was just, the protagonist was boring as shit. There was nothing, he didn't say anything, he was quiet. The guns were really boring. But Quake, I mean, Duke had things like the freeze ray, you had the shrink ray, you had mirrors that you could bounce. Like in original Duke 3D, mirrors, if I remember correctly, certain things like the freeze ray, you could bounce your shot off of the mirrors, and it would bounce off, so you could bounce around corners. I think you could do that with the shrink ray too. You had hollow dukes, you had pipe bombs, you had trip mines. You didn't have anything like that in Quake. Quake was basically everything shot in a straight line, and there was a natural progression of weapons. Like, this weapon was definitively better than this weapon, and then this weapon was definitively better than this one. So that's just the way it went. But, oh, achievement unlocked. Special thanks. Press conference. If you die from falling off a high ledge, it's probably your own fault. Oh, looks like there's more.
Duke, now that the aliens are dead and you've saved the world once again, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna run for president. Hail to the king, baby.
New items have been locked in the extras menu. Let's see what that is real quick. Yeah, it looks like concept art, things like that. Oops. Oh, that was weird. Office photos. Wow. That's awful. 1998 E3 trailer. My god. Oh, we gotta watch this. Well, we're not gonna watch all of them. I just wanna watch this. Always been
born to rock the world.
Look at those graphics, folks. That's high tech. I don't think I've ever seen this.
Damn, I make this look good.
I'm just kind of watching it, not really talking, obviously. Yeah, God, those graphics are so old. Just think, kids, back in the day. Now, there's that old miner that I was talking about. And just think, kids, back in the day, that was cutting edge. Yeah, it definitely looks like that old west town that we were in.
Ooh, that's what I call a close encounter.
Nothing like old school polygon boobs. Wow, this is pretty damn long. That's what she said. I also got some, well, it's not even bothering to talk. There was also some pre-order stuff that I got from, well, pre-ordering it from GameStop, like big-headed NPCs. I was going to turn that on during the game, but I actually forgot. I might do a video showing some of that, but I don't really think it's that interesting. I might try it out, and if it's that cool, I'll do a mini video, but... Or if enough people request it, I'll throw it up.
Always bet on Duke.
3D Realms. Back when they didn't suck. Anyway. Development timeline. Let's see what that is. Wow, May 1996. That's when I graduated high school. I'm 33 years old now. I graduated high school in 96. Version 1.32 of Duke Nukem 3D retail is shipped to game retailers worldwide. Duke Nukem 3D is a massive success that for many defined an entire generation of gaming. Conceptualization and discussion of a sequel immediately begins inside 3D Realms. So yeah, Duke Nukem 3D was released about the time I graduated high school. Crazy. Soundboard.
I've got balls of steel. It's down to you and me, you one-eyed freak. Power armor is for pussies.
You're damn right about that.
Who's your daddy now?
But anyway, that's enough of that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, a little disappointed with the game, but I made that pretty clear. You don't need to hear more of that crap. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. My next game will be Alice Madness Returns. Hopefully I'll start on that tonight. But if you enjoyed it, subscribe, leave comments, suggestions, anything that you've got. Until next time, I shall see you then.